Anyway, once again, groupthink. Here's a little video so you can understand how, once if the media presents you something, then how, if it's repeated over and over, you don't want to go against the group because everybody will think you're strange. Did you go against the group? You must go with the collective. So here's a little thing. This is a little thing on simple brainwashing. But it was done at UC Berkeley, so enjoy.
But an experiment is not a public opinion poll. It examines behavior under the pressure of social forces, as the experiment of Solomon Asch reveals.
The experiment you'll be taking part in today involves the perception of lengths of lines. As you can see here, I have a number of cards, and on each card there are several lines. Your task is a very simple one. You're to look at the line on the left and determine which of the three lines on the right is equal to it in length. All right, we'll proceed in this order. You'll give your answer.
Only one of the people in the group is a real subject, the fifth person with the white T-shirt. The others are confederates of the experimenter and have been told to give wrong answers on some of the trials. The experiment begins uneventfully as subjects give their judgments.
Two. 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 Three. 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 Three.
But on the third trial, something happens.
Two. 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 Two.
The subject denies the evidence of his own eyes and yields to group influence.
One.
Asch found subjects went along with the group on 37% of the critical trials. But he found through interviews that they went along with the group for different reasons.
One. One.
They must be right. There are four of them and one of me.
One.
This subject's yielding is based on a distortion of his judgment. He genuinely believes that the group is correct.
One. 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 Two. One. Two. Two. Two.
I know they're wrong, but why should I make waves?
Two.
In this case, the subject knows he is right, but goes along to avoid the discomfort of disagreeing with the group. Here, the distortion is at the level of his response.
Two. 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 Two.
In the previous experiment, the naive subject stood alone against the group. In this variation, Asch gave the naive subject a partner, here seated in the third position, who also gives the correct response.
One. One. Two. One. Two.
With a partner, yielding drops to only 5% of the critical trials compared to 37% without a partner. Although subjects report warmth and good feeling toward the partner, they typically deny that he played a role in their own independence. The partnership variation shows that much of the power of the group came not merely from its numbers, but from the unanimity of its opposition. When that unanimity is punctured, the group's power is greatly reduced. Sometimes we go along with a group because what they say convinces us they are right. This is called informational conformity. But sometimes we conform because we are apprehensive that the group will disapprove if we are deviant. This is called normative conformity. The strength of the normative factor is shown in another variation carried out by Asch. In this variation, the subject is told that because he had arrived late, he would have to write his answers. Subjects in this private response experiment are exposed to the same amount of misleading information as other subjects, but they are immune from any possible criticism by the group.
One. One. One.
And this enormously reduces the pressure to conform. Conformity drops by 2/3. Asch's experiment is a classic. It reveals how people will deny what they see and submit to group pressure. It allows us not only to observe conformity, but to study the conditions that increase or reduce its occurrence.
So that was kind of interesting, huh? A little bit of piece on, hey, how can we get the group to think a certain way or people to go against their own beliefs, okay, even though they know something's not right, they don't want to cause waves. How many times have you been told, don't cause waves? Don't make a fuss. Don't make a stink, you know? So anyway, let's go over some major hoaxes, and we'll find, we'll take a look at it, bounce it off, some of these ideas. Start off with global warming, okay? Remember these words, carbon footprint? Yeah, they've over and over and over. You now know what a carbon footprint is, okay? Remember the cap and trade? But now, here's some pictures of Al Gore receiving the Nobel Prize, Nobel Peace Prize. Look at the guy he's receiving it with. I call him Raja. He's got another name, but let's call him Raja. So him and Raja received the Nobel Prize. But they don't tell us, do they, that Al Gore, Bernie Madoff, Goldman Sachs, and Ken Lay, remember Enron, set up a climate credit exchange, a carbon credit exchange in Chicago. It's running right now. And Al Gore's making billions, hundreds of millions of dollars. Global warming, who sold it to you? Now there's things like ClimateGate, but gee, once again, how can we manipulate people's minds and program them? We won't tell you about ClimateGate. How many times do you hear about ClimateGate? There's a little homework. Maybe look at ClimateGate. Well, along with that, just so you know, here's some pictures of the Antarctic, okay, between 1981 and 2009. In the Antarctic, anyway, the ice sheet has grown by 43%. That's huge. So more ice in the Antarctic. But they don't tell you that, huh? Because that wouldn't fit the global warming lie that they repeat over and over and over and over, okay? So once again, here's some articles, here's some pictures. Gee, the Antarctic ice sheet has grown. My gosh, it's huge. What they do to program you is they show you a summer picture compared to winter. But let's look at the same month, okay? And let's look at, once again, 81 and 2009 in March. 43%. But they've got you believing global warming. Oh, I forgot. Raja, the guy who won the Nobel Peace Prize, take a look at him. I like to think of him as Dr. Evil. He looks evil to me. But he's going to make what? 600 million pounds. That's right, because a company he's tied with, okay, happened to buy a British steel plant in northern Britain, England, right? And they're going to move it to India. Oh, they're outsourcing. They're going to lose a lot of jobs, and and they're going to lose the capability of making steel. Sound familiar? So anyway, they're going to move it to India, where what? They have better controls. It gets funny because they're going to get carbon credits totaling 600 million. Now, who runs the carbon credit exchange in Europe? Could that be the Rothschilds? Where have I heard that name before? Are they like globalist bankers? What do you know about the House of Rothschild? German for Red Shield. But you should learn about that. So once again, here's one. The Himalayas, right? You've heard of the Himalayas. They're the biggest mountains on the planet. They were losing their glaciers, we were told. Oh my gosh, by 2035 there'd be no more glaciers. Show them the pictures. Here's the articles. The IPCC, which is the Intergovernmental, boy, sounds like, one world, climate panel on climate change, that's headed by that Raja guy, huh? He came out and said there'd be no more Himalayan glaciers, okay? And they put this in their study, and now they have to retract it. You know why? Because the science it was based on was fraudulent. It was a gentleman's opinion. There was no proof. Now India has come out and said, hey, that's BS. So, global warming, sold to you over and over and over. Hype, 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 hype. Lie, 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 lie. And when the facts come out, like ClimateGate, do your homework. Look at the Antarctic, okay, the ice sheets, do your homework. Look at the Himalayan glaciers, do your homework, okay? So they've been lying to you, and they stand to make hundreds of millions, billions of dollars on this. And who's involved? Goldman Sachs, right? Once again, the big rip-off banksters, okay? The Morgans, okay? The House of Rothschild. These are the people that now, like Ken Lay and Bernie Madoff, set up the carbon credit exchanges. But once again, you've been conditioned and programmed with words like carbon footprint. Yeah, you know what it is, don't you? Global warming. Well, now that it's turned out to be a lie, they're going to call it climate change. Give up your rights, your sovereignty, get rid of all your industry, okay, your ability to produce because of lies. Were you brought to war based on lies? Weapons of mass destruction. Yeah, 9/11 was done by guys in caves. Okay, so anyway, global warming. What are the effects of the global warming thing, of all this? Now we have laws, right? Massachusetts has biofuel. How many millions will starve this year on the planet because we decided to take land we could grow food on, let alone genetically modified food, and we decided to grow fuel? Yeah, I know what ethanol is. Do you know what ethanol is? Massachusetts homeowners who have oil heat now have 10% biofuel. All this based on the Al Gore global warming lie with Raja. Both these guys making hundreds of millions, billions of dollars based on that lie. Boy, I'll ask you, are you programmed yet?